to my roots. Oh yes, yeah, darling.
Please subscribe to ILEKOKO TV.
My name is Femi Anikulapo Kuti. Most people call me Femi Kuti. And we are standing at the New African Shrine in Lagos, Nigeria.
As you do a shine level to Taylor, I represent the Irish Army in the United States. And he sent me to go out there, express yourself as a Uganda so that they will love and want to see where I'm from, because we know that a lot of them have done that year and they know everything. So I met he said, take me up. And I brought her to Femi Kuti. That they are taught in school that they were sold.
Yes.
So why would I come and bring her back to where they were sold? She needs to solve that. Were they really sold?
Who told you? The people that sold you told you that you are sold. Have you?
Sorry.
The question you should ask yourself first of all is, if you were sold, why did they buy you?
Right. That's the question. The question is,
They should have asked you, when they saw something so bad happening, they participated in a crime. So they are as guilty as the sellers. Then you don't even have to go too far. You even have historical facts in America of the atrocities they committed on our people there. The Ku Klux Klan or whatever, through slavery, how they will tie their mouth, force feed them and all this, rape the women, rape their children. Oh, so when they sold you, and those people did all that to you, how do you justify that?
that's
So,
the question. Yeah.
they told us to, the teachers, they don't even teach history in schools anymore here. But the question of what I was even talking about before was, we don't have Pan-Africanist government. At the time, slavery ended, and we had colonialism, and then we had our African governments. I think it was just probably only one African, and he did not talk about how to bring back our brothers and sisters home. That should have been the fight of the Africans at that time. But then you cannot even blame those people, because they too were taught in the colonial schools. So their priority was, they want independence. They want this, they want that. But they never took the fight to the parties involved. We had a civil war in Nigeria, for instance. I keep telling people, those that fought for independence here in Nigeria, I think it was Awolowo, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa. These people spoke fluent English. It was a pride to speak fluent English. The more English you spoke, you oppressed your brothers and sisters with the English. They went back to white man or to Europe to ask for permission for independence. When you know the historical facts, first of all, why are you asking for independence? You should already declare independence. Okay, probably they were afraid the British would come and start another war at that time. Give them. But then they should have had the common sense to say, look, we are going to ask the British, let us understand the enemy. We are not the enemy. But they became enemies of themselves. And the British capitalized on their ignorance through the education they had received to make them enemies of themselves. So they got to England, oh, blah, 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 speaking fluent English, and English told this one that this one is envious of this one, and this one is envious, and blah, blah. Then the English now came to conduct the elections. That was a fraud at that time. Then we go to those that participated in the Civil War. Gowon and Ojukwu. Both of them, who trained them? The British trained them. The army was trained by the British. Because if you were an African army, if we had an African army, why would you be killing your brothers and sisters at that time? Had we not gone through enough problems on this continent? So the fight at that time should have been, yes, we want independence, should have declared self-independence. And then immediately evacuate our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean or America or wherever they are. Now, it is very difficult to say our black brothers and sisters should even leave those countries because they built those countries. But they should have free passage back home. All these things, all these coincidences.
Yes.
So, the Organization of African Unity, that should have been the discussion. You see, as the Jews don't let anybody rest because of the Holocaust, we should not let anybody rest because of slavery. So they now teach us. The education that we sold you or we sold you or whatever is the same education. Who taught us the education? In which language? In the same English. So you see, we fight ourselves, we fight you. When we come to your country, you hate us, we hate you. It takes probably just music or sports before we come together, or we meet somewhere and we start to have this kind of discussions amongst ourselves. But that shows you the extent of the damage of 400 years, which we gain as Africans through that education makes us take it for granted. We just look at 400 years like it was 4 hours. 400 years, that's we are talking about 7, 8 generations of Africans killed. You can't imagine what those people. So today we are driving. So even when you are teaching that history, it takes brains to understand there was no cars at that time. So in Benin City, which is 4 hours drive, if an African was caught as a slave, you had to walk from Benin City all the way to Lagos and then to Badagry, where they will now ship you away with no food and little water. We are not taught that in school. So we are even taught that, oh, you are caught. It seems as if everybody was caught in Lagos. That's not what happened. You are caught in Oyo, you are caught anywhere. Then we even teach ourselves that we praise the missionaries that came. We don't even understand the missionaries that came were spies.
You know, I came here because most Americans don't believe that slavery affects Americans.
Yeah, because you see, we can't, you see, we have to understand that gravity is what I'm telling you. When Americans have that thought, it's going to take probably another 100 years to re-regulate our minds and overhaul and correct it again. But if there wasn't Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and many people like this, probably will not even care, which is what they wanted us not to do. So, some people don't even care. Some people don't want to have that discussion. Black Americans, or even don't care. We don't want to have that discussion.
No, they don't.
And when you even discuss with many of the youth today, they don't even have any information concerning this. So it's a massive, big problem we have. But the fact that we are discussing it, in 20 years' time, somebody probably listen to this, say, oh, get interested because of my father. Probably because of my father, I'm even interested. If I didn't have a father like that, I probably would be singing, oh, baby, I love you. Come to bed with me. What else will I say?
Please subscribe to ILEKOKO TV.
Back to my roots. Oh, yes. Yeah, darling.